Before you even open your mouth to say hello, the people around you have already decided if they find you attractive. The human brain relies on rapid, subconscious heuristics to evaluate a stranger in a fraction of a second. We call this critical window the 7-second rule. It serves as the primary gateway for personal presentation, operating on a specific and consistent biological timeline. This timeline tracks the data points the brain prioritizes. During the initial 2 seconds, the brain processes your physical silhouette, scanning your posture, your frame, and the way you occupy space. In seconds 3 and 4, the attention narrows to the face, searching for clear indicators of health, specifically the intentionality of your hair and the clarity of your skin. Finally, through seconds 5 to 7, the impression is locked in. The resonance of your voice and physical scent provide the final data points needed to categorize you. When these initial filters reject a baseline, the brain creates a cognitive bias that is difficult to override. Later attempts to demonstrate value through conversation often fail to gain traction because the subconscious has already categorized the interaction. The grooming industry is valued at over $80 billion. This valuation is built on the premise that passing the 7-second test requires complex regimens, expensive designer products, and a massive time commitment. This creates an overinvestment trap. Men frequently spend significant capital on luxury clothing or high-end fragrances while still failing to project a confident physical presence. This is a classic case of attractiveness asymmetry. The inputs men often assume are most important, like brand labels or expensive accessories, actually yield some of the lowest returns on how they are perceived. In reality, the signals that trigger the strongest response require almost zero financial investment. Instead, they demand high behavioral consistency and discipline. Optimizing your physical presence is a strategic allocation of time and resources designed for the highest possible yield. We use a quadrant measuring impression output against required input. Vector 1, the aesthetic baseline, sits top left, high impact, low cost. Vector 2, somatic signals, sits further right. It has equally high impact but requires active daily effort. The required input for the aesthetic baseline is mechanical, a modern tailored haircut, and a consistent 3-step skincare routine. Wash morning and night, moisturize twice a week, and use sunscreen daily. The trade-off for this vector is the delay and results. Clear, healthy skin provides a health halo, but it requires 30 days of compounding consistency before the visual change becomes apparent. Vector 2 demands physical correction. This involves 20 minutes of daily home exercises designed to pull the shoulders back into a straight, stacked alignment. The vocal component requires a similar shift in discipline. Daily humming exercises and conscious pacing help develop a deeper, more resonant cadence that carries more authority during an interaction. The hurdle for these somatic signals is discomfort. You are actively fighting years of phone neck and slouched seating. Standing fully upright and speaking from the chest will feel unnatural for several weeks. Mastering these baselines projects biological fitness the moment you enter a room. You effectively bypass the need for a luxury budget because your body is communicating the value for you. Our third vector is presentation, style, and scent. The focus here is on the precision of fit and hygiene rather than brand names. This requires clean footwear, a fitted basic t-shirt, and a subtle daily fragrance. Choosing high-quality basics removes your ability to hide behind flashy trends. It forces your posture and grooming to carry the full weight of your aesthetic. Vector 4 is called the internal frame. This is the cultivation of personal passions and the removal of the need to perform for external validation. This state of non-neediness compounds the effect of your physical grooming. By removing this internal pressure to perform, you signal a social status that validates the physical impression you've already made. Returning to the quadrant, Vector 3, presentation, sits in the high output, low input zone. Vector 4, the internal frame, reaches the absolute peak of impact, but is positioned furthest right because genuine confidence requires time to build. Even with absolutely perfect grooming and style, an insecure internal frame will immediately compromise the 7-second halo effect. To illustrate the actual cost of these results, we can look at the baseline audit scorecard. When you populate these 7 habits, the total investment comes to less than 3 hours of effort per week and under $50 per month. If you are tempted to spend capital on luxury colognes or designer streetwear, remember that those are wasted multipliers if your posture is poor or your shoes are dirty. For those who are time poor or budget constrained, this framework represents the most efficient path forward. It focuses exclusively on the high ROI variables. Respect in the 7-second window is rarely purchased. It is triggered by the unfakeable discipline projected through your baseline habits. Focus on the inputs that generate the highest yield.